Hello and welcome to CIS 4510. In this session, we will address the importance of good communications in projects and the elements of project communications planning, including how to create communications management plan and perform a stakeholders communication analysis. In addition, the session will address or describe various methods for distributing project information and the advantages and disadvantages of each. The greatest threat to many projects is a failure to communicate, and unfortunately, our culture does not portray IT professionals as being good communicators. Research shows that IT professionals must be able to communicate effectively to succeed in their position. Strong verbal skills are a key factor in career advancement for IT professionals. The project processes to manage communications are communications planning, which is determining the information and communications needs for the stakeholders. Information distribution, which is making needed information available to project stakeholders in a timely manner. Performance reporting, which is collecting and disseminating performance information, including status reports, progress measurements, and forecasting. And managing stakeholders, which is managing communications to satisfy the needs and expectations of project stakeholders and to resolve issues. This slide shows a summary of these processes and the output of each process. The project communications management plan is a document that will guide project communications. Creating a stakeholders analysis for project communications will actually assist in communications planning. The communication plan document will include stakeholders communications requirements, information to be communicated, including the format, the content, and level of details, the people who will receive the information and who will produce it, suggested methods or technologies for conveying the information, frequency of communication, escalation procedures for resolving issues, revision procedures for updating the communications management plan, and a glossary of common terminology. This slide shows a sample of a project communication matrix with the format, the responsible person, and the due date. Now, this matrix is not set in stone. You can customize it the way that you want according to project requirements and according to the stakeholder or stakeholders' need. The second process is information distribution, which is getting the right information to the right people at the right time and in a useful format. It's actually as important as developing the information in the first place. When distributing information, we need to consider using technology to enhance information distribution and the use of formal and informal methods for distributing information. Distributing information should be in an effective and timely manner. Important and crucial information should not be buried. Project managers should not be afraid to report bad information. Oral communication via meetings and informal talks helps bring important information, good and bad, out in the open. In face-to-face communications, the person's tone of voice and body language say a lot about how he or she really feels. You need to pay attention to the body language more than just the actual words someone is saying. Actually, research says that in face-to-face interaction, 58% of the communication is through body language, 35% of communication is through how the words are said, and 7% of the communication is through the content or words that are spoken. To encourage face-to-face meetings, some companies require those meetings to be short and frequent. Short and frequent are more effective than long and distant meetings. Could be stand-up meeting, which forces people to focus on what they really need to communicate. Some companies actually have policies preventing the use of email between certain hours or even entire days of the week to encourage that face-to-face interaction. This table shows the rating for different types of communications within a project. In 2006, Frost and Sullivan published an article titled New Research Reveals Collaboration is a Key Driver of Business Performance Around the World. In their study, they found that collaboration is a key driver of overall performance of companies around the world. Of all the collaboration technologies that were studied, three were more commonly present in high performing companies than in low performing ones: web conferencing, audio conferencing, and meetings scheduler technologies. This study reveals a powerful new metric business leaders can use to more successfully manage their companies and to achieve competitive advantage, said Brian Cotton, and he's the vice president of Frost and Sullivan. The study also showed that there are regional differences in how people in various countries prefer to communicate with one another. So that will be all for this session. We'll continue about communication in the next session. If you have any questions, you can email, call, Skype, or come in person during office hours. I will be more than glad to help. Thank you and have a great day.